Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome. Hopefully it's welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. Our show today is What's Trending, and here we are among these beautiful flowers. Let's bring out a beautiful flower herself, Kathy Fulton.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, so nice to see you today.
You too.
I'm really excited to do this show. As you know, you brought a wonderful guest who's been here before, and things are just blossoming for her, which is wonderful. But before we bring her out, what's trending with Kathy Fulton?
Well, let's see. It's probably more what's not. There's always so much going on, but we're working on a lot of design projects that are a lot of fun. We've been focusing on, we've gotten a lot of exterior projects, and that's, you know, part and parcel to the time of year that it is, and working on a lot of kitchen remodels, some new house kitchen installations, and some bathroom redesigns as well. So lots going on.
Thanks for sharing that, Kathy. So is the summer typically a time when people will look to renovate, to make changes, or do they put it off till the fall?
No, I mean, it's really, it's year round, but things kind of tend to drop off November, December, and then they begin to plan again in January. But, you know, I was telling my networking group the other day, I said, you know, you've really, once the kids go back to school, you've got less than 90 days to get your house ready for company. So you better throw it in high gear if the Thanksgiving celebration's at your house this year. So.
And it's true. And when people are taking vacations, that's also a good time as an entrepreneur to sort of crack the whip and make things happen, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So our guest today is someone near and dear to you. Tell us a little bit about how you know her.
Well, so CJ, I've known her since she was a baby, and her mother, she was my sister-in-law at one point, and so anyway, things didn't work out with that marriage, but we kept Kay, and we still keep my brother in the family as well. But anyway, I digress. But so my family is, you know, I mean, Kay will always be part of our family, and so I've just kind of kept up with CJ's just the way that she's developed over the years, and it's always been about bridal design and just her drawings, and it's just been so great to watch her evolve and turn into this entrepreneur, and just the way that she is developing her business. And she texted me some bullet points the other day about things that have happened, and I can't wait to hear about it. It sounds like it's just kind of snowballing, so I can't wait to bring her out.
Excellent. And CJ and I were talking backstage a little bit, and it always seems that there's a lull and there's nothing happening, and we're kind of like, oh, I can't believe this. And then out of nowhere, something happens and we are reinvigorated again. So
Right.
Let's bring out CJ. She's joining us from Austin, Texas. And by the way, I found out that one of our other guests is close to her and is actually her roommate. We'll talk about that. But she's the owner designer at Christian Joy Bridal. Welcome to the show, CJ.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Hi, CJ.
Hi.
It's like a family reunion there. I love it.
Yeah.
DJ, thank you so much for coming back. And you shared a little backstage and to what Kathy was alluding that there wasn't much going on, whatever that means, you'll tell us. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden something happened and kicked into high gear. So tell us about what you've been doing since you were here for your interview last.
Yeah, well, it's pretty funny because y'all were so sweet and kind to be like, I can't wait to hear what happens, and I was like, me too. And so I was very happily like surprised when I had things to talk about and big things. Since I've last seen y'all, I have put out 2 new veils. I took a trip to New York with other creatives that I know, and that really just like directed my business in a huge way, just with the meetings and experiences I had in New York. And I came back from New York and purchased the sewing machine that I need to finally expand into gowns. So I am now patterning and kind of in that process of expanding my business and hoping. My plan is to have gowns out by the beginning of the year. So that's just like the highlights. But there's been a lot in between.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So, okay. So when you say have gowns out, does that mean you're creating like a line, or are they custom? What do we have here?
So my plan is so kind of backstory. When I was in New York, I was able to connect with the designer that I interned for when I did my internship in school in New York City for a summer. She was very gracious and kind to meet with me. And it's funny because she told me when I was an intern, she was just like, ask me whatever you want. Like, I'm an open book. I want to like help guide you. And I knew in that moment at like 21, I was like, I don't know what I don't know. So thank you, but also I probably will not ask you all the questions I'll have. And so I was able to email her and reconnect with her, and she was so kind and basically go ask her all the questions that I've since had of just like starting a business and being a designer. And she, has had a blossoming business in bridal for 15 years now and placed third on Project Runway. So anything she says, I'm like, okay, you definitely are worth your salt for sure. But she was able to guide me in a way. I just told her my plan about doing veils and then making shorter dresses, getting into stores, and then doing gowns. And she was like, let me just put my 2 cents in and kind of halt your process for a second. Like, don't focus on stores. And if you're going to make a dress, you might as well make a gown, because, dresses you can sell for a couple $100s, but gowns sell for thousands. And it takes pretty much just as much time, effort, almost material to, make, design, market. So you might as well as do it. Just do it, not try to dip your toe in the water. She was like, just jump. I was like, okay. And then she was like, you need to go buy the machine that you need, which it's an industry standard machine that, most high-end companies use. And I've used at school and used in my internships. And I knew that's what I was lacking. And there's something about having confidence in your tools that really kind of, like you said, Dr. Jacqueline, it reinvigorates you. And you're like, okay, I'm ready. I can do it. I have everything I need.
So that's okay. So, and I don't know this person, but I agree with her. I mean, why take a pit stop? I've been telling you to jump for years.
You have.
I encourage you to jump off the building from the get-go. But that's just my, I'm baptism by fire. Okay. So, but, and maybe I wasn't listening, and maybe I missed it because this is so exciting to me. But is it going to be a line of gowns, or is it you're doing custom? Like if I was getting married again, which I'm not, but
second wedding with Joe. Do it again.
No, we're not doing that.
Sorry, I guess I didn't answer your question. It will be a line of gowns, and one thing she told me too was just, I'm a small business owner, so the bottom line really matters. I mean, for any business owner, but when you're first starting out, it's you're strapped for cash. And she kind of told me, the best way to do it is to make 3 gowns that you believe in, you're excited about, but are similar in style. Just because the patterning process can take a while and get expensive. And if you do gowns that look, really different silhouette wise and just design wise, it can get costly. And so she was like, just put out 3 gowns that you like, you're excited about. They don't have to be anything crazy, something that feeds your artist heart, but also makes sense business-wise. And she was like, I did not do that at first. And so she was telling me to do as she says, not as she did. And so I will hopefully be putting out 3 gowns. I don't know if that'll happen by the beginning of the year, but hoping to have at least 1 gown out. And I'm always open to custom, but I want to put the gowns out in the world for the world to see, okay, this is her style. This is what she does. I want something like this, but not quite. I want to be careful with custom, that I am excited about custom. I want everyone to have a custom fit, which I'm kind of building my business model around. But I want to respect my integrity as a designer and not just as an order taker or a seamstress, if that makes sense, because there's a difference. And I hope to work collaboratively with the brides to come up with something that is their vision and their dream, but also is true to my aesthetic. And if that's not a good fit, that's not a good fit. I'm probably not a good fit for everybody, and that's okay. But I'm hoping, to kind of keep boundaries of like, I don't want brides coming to me and just saying, okay, make this for cheaper than I found it elsewhere. It's like, that's not how that works. So hopefully that's clear. I don't know.
Yes. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank
A
you.
follow-up question I have is, when you're making these 3 gowns, what size will they be? And are they samples specifically, or are they going to be for someone to purchase?
Yes. So the idea here, I am very passionate about a custom fit. That's what I studied in school. I have professional experience working with custom clothing. And I feel very passionately that everyone's body is very different in ways that we're not even aware of. And so I ideally would like to make these samples that women can come try on, and then take about 30 different measurements and pattern a set of patterns for their gown that is specifically to them. So that takes having patterns ready in almost any size beforehand to be able to manipulate those patterns to their specific measurements. So I think I'm offering patterns between the sizes of 0 to 2 to, I think, like a 16 or an 18. And bridal sizing works different. It's a little bit more, I think, what it used to be, kind of mid-century, like 1950s. It just hasn't kind of caught up with how sizing works nowadays. But there's a pattern grader here in town that will do all the measurements or do all the math on that for me. So I'm excited to work with them and use them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Okay, so then when you have these the patterns made or your designs, you've designed your dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how are you going to get the word out? Are you going to have somebody rep them for you? Are you going? What's your thought? How are you going to bring it to market?
Yeah. So the plan is I think I would like to keep my business more direct. And I did not say that last time I was on the show. I think I've kind of seen the light of like, working with stores is really great. They are wonderful. That's where a lot of brides go to have this amazing experience. But also it's not for everybody, and that's okay. And so I think once I have these gowns, social media is my best friend with that. It's free and everybody's on it. So really leaning into that, I think, is probably the best way. I also was talking just kind of with other people the other day about, I would like to have a party once I release these gowns and just have them like on dress forms. And because I realized that nobody I know ever gets to see what I do. They just kind of hear about these veils I'm working on or whatever, and, talking about different things. And then they get shipped off to the brides and everyone's like, okay, so what is it like? And so I'm like, I should throw a party and just like announce it, invite people I know, invite bridal store owners in town, and just kind of a conglomerate of people, and kind of launch it in a way. So I would like to do that. That's wishful thinking, but I think social media is probably going to be the best the route that makes the most sense.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks.
It's fabulous.
I think that's a great idea.
And of course, with social media, the wonderful part of it is that we don't have to tap into our wallets, right? So
exactly.
wonderful. So CJ, during this journey as an entrepreneur, what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself?
What have I learned? I think every step I take with Christian Joy Bridal, I learn more about who I am as a designer. I think when I first started, I really just didn't know what my aesthetic was. I had an idea, but I had all these different, it was overwhelming, honestly. You're like, I could take this in any direction. But you can always pivot. I think maybe I said this last time I was on the show, just starting was the best thing I did, even though I look back at my early sketches and I'm like, I hate that and I would never make it now. But that's okay. And so it's kind of nice to be secure in my aesthetic, especially as I'm starting to design and get very serious about gowns. I'm like, ooh, I'm very excited about this look. So it's kind of cool. I'm learning to, I'm very organized. It's kind of how I've always been. And my mom would say this, but I have a drive, and it's from the Lord for sure. But yeah, I think just it's really reiterating my organization and drive. I'm like, okay, moving forward, I can do this, so yeah.
I love how your face lights up when you're just talking like that. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
And so I mentioned this just briefly, but you have a roommate, a good friend of yours who you're there. And that person was also on this show, and we learned a lot from her as well. Anything you want to say about that?
Yes, I know I'm probably like revealing her artwork too soon, but I'm in her studio, and it's just probably one of my favorite places, and it's probably her favorite place in our home. Hunter and I are roommates, and so we kind of live in this very like Austin bungalow creative home. And we have another roommate who is wonderful. She's actually been in DC the whole summer doing an internship. And she'll be back soon. But yeah, Hunter and I, yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. She is incredibly talented, inspires me every day. She lives my dream. She, gets to do her art full time. And that's the dream. And it's like, I just feel like I'm asking her questions all the time on top of our friendship of like, okay, kind of like really letting her guide me in that way of like, how do I do that? How do I, get to wake up and just do what I set out to do? So she inspires me, and she is so wonderful.
Thank you. The reason I was asking that was because the environment that you're in, I just feel this sense of peace and uplifting, looking at the artwork and just how everything is laid out. So environment is really important to creativity, isn't it?
For sure. For sure. And I really hadn't tapped into that until I lived in this house. When I was in college and I was sewing all the time, more than I am now, I was going to, going on campus to sew. And we had a great school and campus sewing setup in our classrooms. But, then I would go home and never sewed there. And so now to live in it, to really like be immersed in your work and your art, it really is. It can be kind of overwhelming at times, but it really is life-giving because you're just kind of always in it. And it's really nice to live with another creative that doesn't do exactly what you do, but understands, the trials and the pains of being a creative. So it's fun to have a friend in it with you, kind of in the trenches.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle. When you are working creatively, it's because it's kind of like it's not that you have mood swings. It's just when the creativity isn't going right and you're not finding the right stuff, it's you kind of get tripped up. It's you feel like you're just in this holding pattern, and it's like you just can't move forward. So that's good that you kind of have a kindred spirit there.
For sure. I don't take that for granted. That again is the Lord. I was not moving into this house thinking that would happen, and I'm glad it has. So that's been really sweet.
So let me ask. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say we actually do have a comment from our friend Adam. Hi, Adam. Nice to have you with us. Adam's question is, hi all, how important is art therapy when dealing with your own mental health? So the artist, actually Hunter, isn't with us today, but CJ, would you like to take a stab at that?
Yeah. I think when you have, I think we're all given a creative bent to some extent, and it all looks different for everybody. And when you tap into that part of your soul that was designed to, take part in art and creativity, it's fulfilling, and it kind of, you feel like, oh, there's purpose in this. And when you squash that down and pretend like that part of your soul doesn't exist, it kind of, I don't know, it drains you. It's like soul sucking, honestly. So I think it's super important to recognize creativity and art as mental health, whether that's what you do just as a hobby or something you do, as a career, to kind of stay balanced in that way.
Thank you. Well stated. And thanks, Adam. He writes, love your background. Thank you, Adam. I love it too. It's such an uplifting feeling. So wonderful. Okay. So Adam has another comment, and then we'll go to Kathy. Yes, we're all creative souls. And this is why I believe more creative classes need to come by in schools. Yes, I agree with you. We've decided here, at least in the States, they don't teach people the business skills that you need. They don't teach people listening skills, and they don't teach people enough about mental health awareness and what we need to do to stay healthy. So thank you, Adam, for joining us. Kathy, over to you.
So let's go back to this sewing machine that you just purchased. Okay. So maybe, I mean, you can just tell me this is none of my business, but I'm just going to be real direct here. How much does one of these machines cost?
All in, I spent $972.
Okay. So, I was thinking it was like, $5,000 or something like that. So
no.
That
it wasn't bad at all. I mean, that's a hefty amount of capital, but you can write it off, and it's investment. And
yeah, yes, so, it is.
It's funny, actually. I should have sent y'all this picture to have, but Hunter went with me to go buy it, and that was such a fun morning. We just woke up. The store in Austin opened at 9 a.m. and we both had commitments that day, so we were like, okay, I'm gonna buy it today. We have to go at 9 a.m. And we walked in, and Mike, the guy in the store who is the machine technician, was selling me on the machine. And I finally was like, Mike, I'm going to buy this machine. I just really need you to put it in my car. And then I went over and swiped my card, and I have never put that much money on a card before. But the Lord has seen me through, and I am paying it off very quickly. And so I'm excited to really own it. And I mean, it's a big honking piece of machinery, but it fits in my room perfectly, and I'm excited, and it runs so well. I texted my mom immediately after I got it up and running and was like butter. It sews like butter. It is amazing. It's smooth and wonderful. And I was finally able to give her machine back that I've had forever. So I feel like I really grew up that day.
I wish everyone could be as passionate about what they're doing as you are, CJ. It's just beautiful to watch.
Thank you. That is so sweet. But yeah, those are the big things that have been going on. But yeah.
Now, how big is this machine?
It's probably I think it's 3 feet by 2 feet, and it's on its own table. I had to pour oil into the machine. It's not loud, which is great. Some of them are loud because you're turning a motor on, but yeah, if you put a steering wheel in this thing, I feel like I could drive. I really It has a pedal and a knee lever that you can use. And I feel like, what's that scene? This is really hokey, and I apologize. It's just because I've seen it recently. There's that scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory where Gene Wilder's pulling all those levers and trying to make something work. And that's what I feel like when I'm working with this machine. So.
Well, could you make other things on this, or is it just, this is my ignorance, sorry, but is it just wedding specific, veils, dresses, gowns?
I'll use it for personal, projects and stuff like that. I have a dress that I've just been putting off and needing to finish. And I kind of tested out the machine on that dress. So I'll use it for other stuff, which is, I work that out financially to be like, okay, this is a Christian Joy Bridal expense, but it's also a CJ Bierscheid expense. So I need to be fair in that way. So yeah,
Careful, the IRS is watching.
I know. I know. To the FBI agents.
They're everywhere.
CJ, I'd love to ask you about, I'd love to ask you about bridal gowns and veils for 2022 and onward.
Mhm.
What are the gowns? What is the style? What's trending with gowns and veils now?
You know, Dr. Jacqueline, I don't know if I am the best person to ask that. And I know the show is called What's Trending, so I apologize that I don't know the answer to that. But I have decided that I'm going to make what I want to make. And, you know, whether you like it or not, that's okay. I don't know what's trending, to be honest with you. I know from the stores that I follow on Instagram, I think sleeves are really in, especially detachable stuff. Girls love having options, especially because you know, it became really popular a couple years ago to do separate looks for either, you know, your ceremony and reception or kind of a getaway look once you leave your party. So to have options with dresses, I think is really big for brides right now. At least that's what I'm seeing on social media. But
yeah, it sounds like what's trending is custom work by CJ.
I hope so. I hope that takes off. I think Austin is a great place to be for that. Just with everyone moving here, there's just this, you know, grand exodus, I feel like, of other places to Austin. So I think, I don't know. And Austin has some amazing stores. And I'm just excited to be part of that network of designers and store, like a company and business offering bridal.
Well, so CJ is one of the trends, because like you know, just seeing pictures and such, like there will be the wedding gown,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's like the after the wedding party, the reception dress. Is that still in vogue? Or, I mean, because if I would have done that when I got married, my mother would have done backflips and said, absolutely not. We're getting one and that's it. I mean,
I think maybe that's why people love, you know, detachable skirts or detachable sleeves, or, I mean, it's kind of crazy what all is out there nowadays, because you are just in theory buying one gown and then you're buying it with, I can wear my sleeves like this or I cannot. You know, when my best friend Kate got married last year, she had this beautiful fitted silhouette, like mermaid gown. But on the back, she bought this big bow through the store. It was this big, white, beautiful bow. And it just attached to her dress on the back. And she had that for her ceremony and then took it off for the reception. And that kind of provided like a 2-in-1 look. So I think to your point, Kathy, of like, yeah, it's kind of no judgment if you can do it or if you want to do it, because it's cool. But yeah, more than, it just can get out of hand if you get more than one gown. So to have options, I think kind of it scratches that itch of, I want more than one look without breaking the bank.
Yeah, got it. Well, I mean, you know, I think it's cool to have two dresses, and I mean, whatever you want to do, it's, you know, it's your day.
Yeah.
But I don't know, so much work goes into the whole gown. And then, I mean, I would want to, just me personally, I would want to wear it for more than, I don't know, an hour. I mean, it just seems, when you do the math on
Yeah, cost per wear.
Yeah.
That's expensive. Yep.
Yeah. That's some change there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
well, so what's next? I mean, once you get the like your designs, your new designs, I know you've got a, you know, a forward path. What's after that?
I don't know. I'm not letting myself think past January. While I want to stay driven and have a plan, I also know the Lord's in control. So we'll see where he takes me. But currently I'm actually doing a trunk show with a store in town in Austin. So that's really exciting. That's been going on for 2 days now, and will continue to go on for another 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that more stuff like that opens up with other stores, not even just in Austin. So I am hoping that that's in the cards. Very excited about that. But forward thinking, yeah, just really trying to get gowns out. I think I would like I said, just to keep my business direct, and I'd like to have a good relationship with store buyers as well, but keep it direct. So hoping that takes off in Austin.
Yeah. Is that where you really think that you will kind of set your roots in Austin?
Professionally, yes. Personally, I think I have a different brain, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I thought of you. I think about you all the time, but I was in downtown DC a couple of weekends ago, and I had to do some work down there, and there was a bridal boutique, and it was by appointment only, and I almost took a picture and texted it to you, but then my client came out and I had to talk to them. But is that, are you still considering a brick and mortar, or?
I would love to do that. I know it's really funny. There's this space, this commercial space on South Congress in Austin it's a second floor. It's right above a restaurant, and it has these floor to ceiling windows, and it's not very big, but it's just big enough. And no one's in it, and it's been for sale or rent or lease or whatever for a while now. And I feel like every time I walk by it, I'm like, oh, I want my store in there. But it's right on South Congress, and I'm like, I don't even know, even if I could afford that, if I want to afford that, but
Right.
Like if I really want to pay up that much to be on South Congress. But I just kind of sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can see my gowns in that window. Like, I don't know. It's fun to just dream. So I would love to have a brick and mortar one day, and just have, a space where brides can come and be fitted, try on dresses, and kind of trying to figure that out logistically right now with wanting to put out gowns in January, and thinking like there's so many studio spaces available in Austin. I'm currently in one right now. So trying to figure out what it looks like to, have samples, brides come look, try them on, us talk through creative process. But yes, I would love to have a brick and mortar one day, something that's not so renting a studio. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because that's what I'll be doing for probably a while. So
yeah. Never despise the days of small beginnings, because you'll look back and you'll think, oh gosh, those are some of the best times of my life. So
Yeah.
I look back, growing up, and some of the most fun I had was when I didn't have any money, when things weren't, blossoming and going my way. But have you ever, the other time that I thought about you was when I was at the beach, and the movie Bridesmaids was on. Have you ever watched that movie?
yes, I have.
Every time I see the when they go bridesmaid shopping,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, that's CJ.
I know that story is so funny. That movie is just amazing. I always laugh my way through it. I know. I love at the end when she finally gets the dress in from Paris, and it's a disaster.
Awful.
So it's so funny. But actually, there's a really funny story that happened. Do I have time to tell y'all really quick that happened in New York? This feels very bridesmaidy. Okay, so I was able to, when I went to New York, I went with other creatives that I know. It was kind of for kind of work and play. And, I was told, like, make the most out of this with Christian Joy Bridal. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. I need to meet with whoever I can. And was able to meet with the, designer I interned for, and was able to actually, I picked 5 stores in New York, ones that I thought would, actually give me the time of day. So, not like Kleinfeld's or anything like that, where they have their, people set. But there was a store in Brooklyn that I wanted to meet with really bad. I wanted to meet with the buyer to talk about potentially doing a trunk show. And I had, emailed, called, sent mailers, kind of just really doing the whole sales thing. And I was able to, after like 3 voicemails, we're in New York, where it's the last full day. I brought veils with me because I was like, well, we'll see what happens. I don't currently have anything on the books, but we'll see. She emails me, the buyer emails me back that morning and is like, I have a cancellation. I can meet with you this afternoon. I don't even know if you're still in town. And I was like, scratch everything. I'm going to Brooklyn at 4 p.m. And so I emailed her and I was like, I'll see you then. I think she kind of had a crazy day and there was a lot of miscommunication. I get to the store in Brooklyn, which is, you know, I was getting from Manhattan to Brooklyn, which really isn't that bad. And then, you know, finding the warehouse, going up 6 flights of stairs, the whole thing, and she's not there. And so I ended up calling her through the intercom. It became like a wild goose chase basically, but it was so fun. And I have like these veils in tow and I'm like running all over New York. And I was finally able to meet with her in this like little residential neighborhood in Brooklyn. At this coffee shop, and I, you know, bought her coffee and we got to talking. We talked for an hour and a half. She was lovely. It was fun just to connect with her and to see what her needs are with her brides. And even her giving me advice was really great. But at the end of it, I had these like 3 beautiful veils out showing her in this coffee shop because shameless. And as I'm putting them up to leave, there were candles on the table because we were in a coffee shop, and 2 of them caught fire.
Oh my.
And she just like throws herself on the table to like put them out. And I'm talking, so I don't even know what's going on. And I'm packing up my veils. And she's like looking at me, she's like, oh my gosh, we like assess the damage. And they caught fire and they were ruined. And I just was like, well, I can remake it. And just was like open hands, you know, like it is what it is. And then we like wrapped up our conversation. I headed towards the train and I called my mom and that's when I cried. But it was really funny. It was like a whole fire veil fiasco. And I just figured y'all would appreciate that story.
Oh my gosh.
That is classic.
But the good news, you know what the good news is? She'll never forget you. Never, ever. That
is exactly what Andrew and Dorothy told me. Because I was with them in New York and I was texting them and I texted them and I said, on my way back to Manhattan, my veil's caught on fire. Can I have a glass of wine later? And then like Andrew responds and goes, you mean metaphorically? Like they were just so hot, they were on fire. And I was like, no, Andrew, they literally caught flames. And they graciously met me at the door when I got home and let me cry. And by the end of it, we were laughing about it. And Andrew said the same thing. He's like, you will always get a response from that buyer. She will never forget you. And I emailed her the next day and I, thanked her for her time and sent her my information again. And then I made a joke at the bottom of the email. And I was like, I do have some updates that I will be making to my store soon, just with different products and stuff like that. And then I said, but the biggest update probably needs to be fireproof tool. So
I think it would be great if you let her know that your products are really hot. Your veils are really hot.
Yeah, my veils are super hot. I kept one of them.
Your designs are on fire.
Yeah, I kept one of them. And I mean, there's just like gaping holes in it. And it's just, you can tell like it's been burned. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So
you didn't throw them away, did you?
One of them I did. I had to remake both of them, which is fine. And because both of them are at the trunk show right now at the store in Austin. So I was on a deadline because they were like, hey, bring by your veils at this point. And I was like, okay, well, now I have to remake 2 veils because they caught on fire. I did not tell them that, but that's what I was thinking. So one of them was like beyond repair. And the other one I kept kind of just as like a morale booster, humbling agent. I don't know.
Right. That's a memory, CJ. I mean, it sounds like this didn't happen too long ago. And, but you should keep that in a place where you will look at it periodically because, I mean, that's going to bring back so many memories of, where you were and where you are now each time you look at it, because you're just going to keep moving the needle. I know you are, but that is hilarious. And that sounds like something that would happen to me.
I know.
I don't think I'll ever forget it. Seriously, it's a great story too.
Thanks. I was excited to tell you all that.
Gosh. Well, what else is there's something with baseball caps, logos. What?
Yeah. So just a fun little thing. I like started selling baseball caps on my website that have my logo on it, just for anyone who knows me or wants to support, friends and family, just kind of, branded merch, if you will, as the kids say these days. So it just my logo on it. And a friend of mine, her mom has an embroidery business that has really taken off. And she is wonderful. And she offered to make the hats for me. So I was like, sure, I'd love to partner with another small business and one that I, love and care about. So it's been really great. So those are for sale on my website. And I'm also planning to give those away with custom purchases. So yeah, it's something fun.
Great idea.
Nice.
Free advertising.
Yeah.
Kind of. So
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we are actually at the end of our show. I've really enjoyed seeing you again and hearing all these exciting things that are going on with you. So please do stay in touch and come back and see us.
I will. Thank you so much for having me on. This was so fun to chat with y'all. I enjoy this every time.
I'm so glad we got to catch up with you again. I mean, I'm not surprised at all the progress, and I'm so proud of you. I really am. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
CJ, I'm going to spotlight you again for you to share your contact information for people who can't read the banner or they can't see it. And who would you like to reach out to?
So my information is at Christian Joy Bridal. And then my email is info@christianjoybridal.com. And then the website is www.christianjoybridal.com. And that social media tag works on Facebook and Instagram.
Wonderful. Keep up the great work. And again, I just love your energy and your passion. You're very charming and inspirational. And I'm just happy for all your success.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. All right. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Incredible, Kathy, right?
Yes. I mean, I just, I feel like, I don't know, like a proud parent or something. I just really am so proud of her. I just, it's hard to stay the course. And she's so young, and look at what she's doing. I mean, I think it's amazing. I just think it's amazing. I didn't know that she needed like this special sewing machine, all these little things that just make a difference. I've always said when you have the right tools, you can do anything. And I think about that a lot when I work in the yard. I mean, I love to work in the yard. So, I can hardly even sew a button on. So, I mean, my thing with her is like, more power to you, because I could never do what she's doing. So anyway, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for the update. So
yes, I'm thrilled for her as well, and grateful that you've introduced her to our platform. So thank you again for that.
Of course.
We do have another comment from Adam, which I think is really important. He writes, here in England, creativeness, I believe, is being drummed out of the young people. So that's what CJ's so passionate about what she's doing. It inspires you, doesn't it? You think to yourself, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so heads down in the muck. And I like to say, be an eagle and fly over and see the positives and see the direction of where you're going. And CJ has a great perspective.
Yes, she does. And that's why I said, keep those burn bales, keep them. Because I mean, I've kept stuff, like just mistakes and, chairs that came in wrong, or, and at the time, you're just livid, or you're scared to death. But I keep those things around. They're kind of like little trophies or mementos of it'll all turn out. That's why I keep those things around. Just hang on, because it's all going to be okay. So.
That's right. You just have to have faith. Keep moving forward.
Lots of it.
Kathy, I'm going to spotlight you. If you would please give your contact information, and who would you like to reach out to you?
Well, anyone that is looking to redesign any room in their house, I would love to work with you. We specialize in kitchens, bathrooms, it really any interior or exterior project. And you can email me at kathyfulton1965@gmail.com, or feel free to call me. I'm at 703-895-3798.
All right. Thank you very much. Kathy, will you be coming back for Talking Heads today, or is it off till next week?
I think due to all the technology, we are having some difficulties. So I think it's off the table, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, we won't see Kathy today, but I enjoyed being with you this morning for the last two shows.
Likewise. Thank
And
you
also
so much.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Kathy, do you have a message for people about some of the work you're doing when it comes to sponsorships?
Yes, I do. If you are looking for a way to get your message out to the world, please feel free to contact me, because we have some great opportunities to help you develop your marketing message and get it out there. We could develop a 30-second, 1 minute, or 2 minute commercial for you, and we've got lots of options and lots of creativity here at USA Global TV and Radio. So feel free to reach out.
Thanks, Kathy. Kathy approached me a while ago and said, "Hey, this is something we should be doing, offering the ability to have a one person contact point, which is Kathy, for people to put together advertising ideas, and then we actually work with our partners to see it through." And now we also have the ability to create custom jingles and custom songs. So if you'd like to have a song written about you and we can put the song to video, we can do it all here in house. So please do reach out to Kathy and she will take care of it.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. And thank you, Adam, for engaging with us. I really do appreciate that. Our next show then will be the Corner Bookstore, followed by the Film and Music Show. Then we have the Wise Ones, and we will close out the day with Red O'Loughlin and his Talking Head series. Also, I am coming back with my Talking Head series. I forgot about that. I'm coming back in the next 45 minutes. So I am the listening mentor, and I teach people how to listen at an elevated level, and we use role plays to do this. So please do join me at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on any of our platforms. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you shortly. Bye.